After the Reasonable Generation and the Temple of the Triune Bears had both collapsed, moderatism once again attempted a comeback in the late 1980s. Tonight on The History of Moderatism, Episode 3, The Neomods, we meet two very different men who tried to lead the movement forward, one who viewed moderation as a moral calling, and one who simply existed. The story begins with a modest scandal in a country few could locate. The small Central American republic of Pollo Rico had been locked in a grinding stalemate for years. Authoritarian forces controlled the coastal lowlands, communist insurgents held the capital, and in the mountains, a loose band of moderate rebels conducted occasional raids that were, by all accounts, strikingly meaningless. Into this situation came a quiet American operation. Surplus office supplies were traded for crates of Pollo Rico's local guava candy. The deal was brokered through contacts with the Irish Moderation Front and intended to help the Pollo Rican moderates stay organized. Mark Midler, a sitting congressman from the Florida Panhandle, was implicated when his assistant, Lark Vale, was photographed shredding documents. The scandal was mild, the hearings polite, and the consequences moderate. One of the minor figures called to testify was a low-level State Department clerk named Spud Evenkiel. Spud, the son of Walter Evenkiel, a prominent moderate in the 1960s, was raised in a relentlessly average household. A young student organizer and unapologetic evangelical, Spud believed with earnest conviction that moderation was not merely wise policy, but a profound moral and religious duty. Politics and faith were, for Spud, two sides of the same neatly folded coin. Each reinforced the other. In the wake of the Pollo Rican scandal, Spud leveraged his notoriety and reinvented himself as a moderate talk radio host in Boise, Idaho. In 1989, he declared his candidacy for Congress under the revived Moderate Party banner. His campaign slogan captured the spirit perfectly: aim high, still miss. Yet even as Spud consolidated support among his evangelical base, another faction within the broader moderate movement was gaining influence: the Beingists. Beingism was a minimalist philosophical and spiritual tendency that had quietly spread through community colleges and low-key retreats. Its adherents embraced the simple fact of existence without commentary, improvement, or rejection. The movement offered no tenets beyond the plain acknowledgement that things simply were. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, Beingists voted for moderate party candidates in overwhelming numbers. Their quiet but effective leader, in fact, was Spud's chief opponent in the moderate primary. Evan Presence first gained public attention by openly and dramatically rejecting his wealthy industrialist father's fortune and lifestyle. Tall, soft-spoken, and dressed in carefully neutral clothing, Evan had founded the Beingist Intercommunal Existence Network. He rarely raised his voice above a gentle monotone. His entire campaign platform consisted of a single word on plain posters: exist. The two men eventually met for a single televised debate in Boise. It was expected to be a model of civilized, moderate discourse. It was not.
Mr. Presence built his entire reputation by virtue of having rejected his family fortune and excessive lifestyle, but his financials will show that his paternal grandfather financed his entire campaign.
There is photographic proof that Mr. Evenkiel helped Larkvale dispose of shredded documents during the Pollo Rican scandal.
Voices never rose. Accusations were never shrill. The audience shifted uncomfortably. The evangelical moderates felt something essential had been diluted. The Beingists felt a subtle preference had been imposed where none should exist. Support for both men softened almost immediately, and so the Neomods, like the moderate movements before them, quietly unraveled. They had aimed high, they had still missed. But as this series has shown us time and again, moderation is remarkably difficult to kill. Next time, on the History of Moderatism, we enter the digital age, where moderation finally found its perfect battlefield and immediately declared war on everyone, including itself.